Okay, that's cool. I gotta get a premium. All right, hey, welcome to Cosmic Matters, where we look to entertain your brain while discussing the bigger questions about the world that we live in. And I'm Matthew Washington. Today we'll be discussing Alan Watts and the talk about are we all God? And so to start off that topic, I have in my background here my favorite nebula. It's actually called the Eye of God, so I thought that would be pretty fitting for today's discussion as we talk about, are we all God? Now, I did a initial video, which I'm going to shorten down. I'm going to tighten all these up. This is our first podcast, so welcome to the official podcast for the first time. And so discussing this topic of, are we all God? I made a video from Alan Watts talking about, if we were all dreaming, if you could control your dreams. And this is where this comes from. And, to give a little background on me, I have a degree in philosophy. I graduated from Rutgers. It's a philosophy and economics degree. And this concept of, it was interesting because I never heard of Alan Watts until after college, until I went to, until my father passed away, actually. And so when my father died, I was searching for meaning. I found, I was on YouTube a lot, and I found this video that I actually now show to everyone. Hello, TikTok Live. We are also live on TikTok. And so I found, I was driving around to find some meaning, and there was a lecture that I found on YouTube. It's called the Alan Watts Death Lecture, or the lecture about death. And it is something actually I send to people when they have someone pass. It's one of the things I send because it brought me a lot of solace in it. And I was like, what is this, by the way? And then I started really looking into Alan and listening to a lot of his talks and speeches and things on YouTube that I could find. And and I was like, how did I get a degree in philosophy and never heard of this man? So he died in the 70s. And he has a way of, we kind of in our society, we have, we basically have two trains of thought. It's like, it's either spiritual, religious, you believe in God. And, let's see. By the way, I'm supposed to have a guest here today, and it's Muhammad. And Muhammad are you there? I see you're typing. But maybe he can't get in. Let's see if we can add Muhammad, because he was going to be a guest today. Let me try people. Oh. Muhammad, I think, are you checking the link? So Muhammad's going to be my guest here. There he is. There he is. All right. I'm going to bring you up in a minute, Muhammad. So you are in the backstage there. So let me go back to this. I don't know who Crusader 34 is, but yes, I will be dropping it. This is kind of cool. By the way, this is, again, my first time doing this podcast. I'm going to be uploading this to Spotify. I'm going to be uploading it to, it's on YouTube Live right now and Facebook, and I'll be on all the networks as far as this works. So, but the concept of Alan Watts, listening to, I was listening to him, and I was like, how did I graduate from college and never heard of this guy? And then I just started listening on YouTube, and this was back 2012. I started listening to him on YouTube, and there were some times where I would listen to him in my car, and like I remember this one time, I literally had to pull up my car. I was like, this is insane. I see you walking, Mohammed, so I don't know if you are, or you just paused, by the way. So I don't know. Okay, there we are. So I was like, this is insane. Like, how have I never heard of this person? And I've listened to minimum. Like, I actually had a friend who was a bartender, and she had to stay there till 4:00, but she was nervous because all the patrons would leave at like 12 or 1, and she was afraid to be there by herself. And I would literally go there and we would listen to Alan Watts for like 2 hours in the bar. And I've listened to so much. I've probably passed 500 hours of Alan Watts listening in total. And so digesting the concepts and ideas. And as I said before, we have this kind of idea that it's either we believe in God, right? A entity that is, I guess, judgmental, has desires. Let's just put it that way. Has desires, wants us to do certain things, wants us to act certain ways, and has a role in our life and has made a plan, and and that. No, so whether you believe in the Christian God or Yahweh, or you believe in Allah, it's that kind of concept of a God that is a separate entity from us, that has dreams and has aspirations for us, or things it wants us to do or act or say. So that's one major way that we look at God in the Western world. And then the other way is the atheistic world, and more of a materialistic type of way of looking at the world, whereas everything is just chemicals. Like, things happen, there was a big bang. We don't know how things have happened, which I'm quite happy with saying I don't know certain things. And so they don't know everything, but we look and we evaluate the world, and we have a world of science, and we say, is this the way things happened? And it's just a material, it's just chemicals doing different things, evolving different ways. And I hate to say by chance, because that's always that is always corrupted by the theist type of way. But there's just a mechanical, there's just laws of the universe that have created the way we are. So those were the two things. And I didn't really, I started in one way. I was first a God person, and then I went the other way, and I was a materialistic person, and materialism. And then, but both of those didn't really answer all the questions. And I'll do another podcast about the questions on each one and how I got there, because I do want to bring up Muhammad in a second here. But and so so Alan really introduced me to a third way, which I didn't even, a third idea, a third worldview that I never heard before. I never understood it. I never even heard of it. Never heard anybody talk about this. And so there was more things I looked at. It was just the way he was talking was very congruent with the world that I see. So this is not something that I want to convert. You don't have to believe in any of this stuff. It's, as I said, Cosmic Matters is about entertaining your brain and just giving you something else to think about on what might be going on in this world. So, with that being said, I'm going to bring in our guest, and so I'll let him introduce himself as far as that goes. Let me bring him up here.
Oh,
and let's see. By the way, this is a new homeowner, which is exciting for him and his wife. And Muhammad, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Well, yes. So to give, I guess, some background is, and I just, by the way, I just gave out your government name, but I didn't give your last name, but I didn't know how you wanted to be addressed.
Oh my Lord.
I figured you wouldn't mind. But I'll let Muhammad tell the story, at least his version of it. But me and Muhammad met up over COVID, and through an app called Stereo. And I actually got on that app because of a friend of mine, Dr. Pete, who was doing a talk about, he's a psychologist, and he was giving a talk about death and grieving. And he had posted on Facebook that, come onto this app and join it. And I didn't know what he was doing and whatever, but he was a friend of mine. So I was like, I'll support, and I'll just jump on. I downloaded the app and I listened to the talk, and I chimed in a little bit. It's an app where you kind of, at that time you had to have two people on the so he must have been
In
talking
the
to someone.
beginning, yeah, it was
Yeah.
only two people in the beginning.
So and I left some messages, and then this guy reached out to me. I think it was after that. So you can tell your side of that story, by the way, because as far as that goes.
Well, I think what happened was I was listening to you, I think, talk about Alan Watts, and I left a message and I said, I've been creating my own personal like ideology about the universe, and this concept has finished um like my whole like premise. Like it just finished. It was all the holes, uh, almost a god of the gap, if you would, uh in my ideology. And it was basically the idea that it was the egg theory.
Hmm.
And in my personal opinion, it was a way to acknowledge that everyone you meet and everything you meet is just you experiencing you from a different point in time. And if we follow the golden rule of do unto yourself, everybody being yourself, we would have, absolute peace and harmony in the world. And it just felt like it was just a great analogy. And then Disney did a movie about it.
So then I guess at that point you just reached out. I must have said something on that show, because then I think you just
Yeah.
sent me a message or something and was like, "Let's do a show together." And then we spent like a year and a half doing shows,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy,
Yeah.
to think
Just,
about.
yeah, cause, you were definitely someone that I could bounce ideas off of. And when it came to just like philosophy, it was just like, there is no real right or wrong, and there's always that one question that everyone gets tripped up on we won't go into. But it's like
The
it's
morality
hard
that we're
to,
talking about.
yeah,
We'll do a
it's
whole
hard
show
to,
on morality, yeah. So that's in the works.
right.
Some
It's
controversial
definitely
shit.
hard to find somebody to have, you know, all conversations with that can look at it from a point of gaining knowledge and not like judgment. So I feel like that was like one thing why I why we like doing shows together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's one of the things. It's funny. I literally was just thinking about that before I started the show, and it's um, like where the message comes from is not important to if the validity of the message. It's like if
Right.
you hate Donald Trump, but he says the grass is green and the grass actually is green, it doesn't matter that some there will be people who will just be like, well, I don't like him, so therefore I can't agree with him. And it's like the concepts, it doesn't like, I don't care who says it. And by the way, and vice versa. I've if you don't know me, like I'm a fan of Elon Musk. But if Elon Musk says something that I don't agree with, like the solar stuff, there's things that he'll say, and I try as best I can to take the ideas on merit as opposed to who's saying them. But we all have our biases
Right.
as far as that goes, and that's just a part of being human. But yeah, the message is what's important. Is it real? Is it match up with the universe? I don't know if you can see my. Do you know what this is behind me? My screensaver. Can you see it?
Yeah. Looks like some galaxy.
Yes. So this is actually called the Eye of God Nebula.
Oh,
So, yeah.
it does look like an eye. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. I figured that would be a good a good background for today's conversation as far as are
Mm.
we all God? And so we're going to go into. I have two videos from Alan Watts. One's a 7-minute one. One's an 11-minute one. We're going to break down. And I don't know because uh, if you'll be able next year, this will be the test here to see if when I play the video, if you're able to pause it as well.
Mm.
We'll see. I don't think so. But if you can't, if you want to pause at any point, because I'm gonna play it and I'll pause it, and then we'll chat a little bit.
Well, let me hop down for a second
Okay.
so I can switch from my phone to my computer.
See you later. All right. So he's gonna switch over, and yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of some Alan Watts. Actually, the video is called "The False Idea of You" or "The False Idea of the Ego," I think it is called. And as far as this video goes, oh, by the way, actually, while Mohammed's not here, so the concept, by the way, of the whole podcast, the Cosmic Matters podcast. So I was going to call this Cosmic Contemplations. I was going to call it Cosmic, our cosmic consciousness, which now saying it is a little tougher than than it should be. So probably that was a good way not to go. And then one of my Maureen, one of my volleyball partners, teammates that I play with, said, "How about Cosmic Matters?" And at first I dismissed it. I was like, "Yeah." I sent out like a poll to like everyone I knew, and I just asked them, "Hey, which do you like? Which do you like better? Do you like our cosmic consciousness, or cosmic contemplations?" And by the way, cosmic contemplations came from Brock. I just put it in Brock and asked what's a good one. So the the idea was, so of course I asked people which one did they like better, and she came back with Cosmic Matters. Let's do why don't you do Cosmic Matters? And of course I said, look, of course I ask pick one or the other, and somebody picks their own. And then I opened up my mind to it a little bit more, and I was like, wait a second, my name is Matt. Cosmic Matters, right? And I said, and a lot of people, when they look into these topics, they're like, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, I've heard people say, why are we worried about space when we got enough problems down here? Why are we worried about doing those things when we have so many more problems to deal with? And that is another topic I'll talk about another time. But it's like, of course, like, the reason why you're able to watch this right now is because we tried to explore space, and we ended up with satellites and GPS coordinations and all these things that we had to do. The science that comes out of trying things that are really hard, and when you're working on something really hard, what comes out of it, and then potentially can be used in multiple other ways. As far as that goes. So I say that Cosmic Matters. I can play with the name. So it matters that we talk about these concepts. We think about something outside of our small world, because we all get wrapped up in our daily lives, and those of you with kids, and your job, and your spouse, and just the things going on in your life. Like, sometimes it's challenging to think about something like space or God, or the what's going on, and looking into these type of things. So, but it does matter, right? So I was like, all right, Cosmic Matters sounds good, right? You're back, but we can't see you, so just so you know. So I said, you know what? And she also was like, remember, it's got to be short for. She actually works for a company that does designs on all kinds of shirts and different things. I hear your sound, but I don't see your face. Just so you know, just kidding.
Oh,
Until I see you.
I see myself now.
I still don't see you, but your volume sounds much better, by the way. No.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got
Um,
it. You should see me now.
there we go. All right, let's bring you back up. So I was explaining the Cosmic Matters namesake or where it came from. Let me do it like this. This is better. I like this. So yeah, so a friend of mine from volleyball, I asked everyone. I don't know if you got that text, but I asked everyone, do I want to do our cosmic consciousness or cosmic contemplations? And my wonderful volleyball friend was like, no, do Cosmic Matters. And of course I eliminated it from. I was like, no. I was like, I picked these two. I came up with these two. Pick one of the ones I like. And then her idea was obviously much better because I could do it's a play on my name, as my name is Matt, and then I can do Cosmic Matters, like it matters, this kind of stuff, and then Cosmic Matters as in like ideas. Here's ideas. So this is going under the umbrella of This Matters, and I'm going to be doing all kinds. I'm going to stick with the podcast. This is what I really want to talk about is this kind of stuff, this kind of discussion on not only Alan Watts, but space and just these whole concepts, the dimensions, different worlds, multiple worlds, what's going on in what are we actually a part of. But the idea of This Matters, obviously I like talking. If you're on my TikTok or you're on any of my other platforms, I do enjoy talking about Tesla. I have done a couple of talks.
Really?
That's. I've made a couple of videos about Tesla before, and then I also thought about, I was like, if I was, let's say I was 80 years old and in my, in like the hospital, right? What would I do? Would I still do this? And I would say, yeah, this is what I would do. Like, this is how I would keep my brain alive, is I would go on live and talk. And I said, so why do I have to wait till I'm 80 and laying in a bed and can't get up? I might as well start now, build an audience. You guys want to see me while I'm laying in the bed. But I can see that, but I can't type back though because my setup is weird for me to type back. By the way, just so you know. So we're still learning all that. I'm still learning all this, how this all works. At least the mechanical back end part. But anyway, that's where This Matters comes from. I got merch. I'm making some merch. Cosmic Matters, Tesla Matters. Gonna do Health Matters. We'll do some of that. I'm gonna do a whole thing on personal development, so it'll be You Matter, and a bunch of stuff like that. And
EWE.
Yeah, the goat. Is that? I didn't even look. Is that what a U is? I started looking it up.
Yeah.
Is a U?
I think it's a female.
A U is a female goat. Is that true?
I think it's a female something.
I got six. I got
Probably.
6 computers here. I might as well be able to use one of them. All right.
It's a sheep.
It's a sheep, huh?
Mm-hmm. Female sheep.
Can't be a sheep. Not like a sheep. So gonna have to go with the YOU then, or just the
female followers.
What? Talking about like the entire bringing that back to the universe, it's kind of interesting because we think of sheep as like things that are herded and need to be protected and all this stuff. But if you look at it from a different point of view, is that the sheep have evolved to make humans protect them. Like it's like, all right, so we'll give you some. I'll just grow this wool that you need, that you can shave off me. You're gonna feed me and you're gonna protect me from wolves. It sounds like they're doing pretty good. I can walk wherever I want. You're just gonna follow me around.
Humans are basically friends with benefits to the sheep.
Yeah, and then you take this matty wool off me as time goes on. Sure,
Mm-hmm.
Like they've evolved to enslave us to them. So maybe You Matters would be good for the sheep.
I like it.
All right. So if by the way, so before we dive into the video, which I'm gonna do in a second here, and we'll see if Muhammad could actually pause it or not. If you can't pause it, then if you want to pause, just raise your hand or something, and I'll pause it. But before we get started, you could also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is at PhilosophyMan76. Is where you're watching this now. If you're on TikTok, hello TikTok, that's where I am right now. Subscribe, follow the channel. Also, I did start up a Patreon, and my ultimate goal is to, I do solar sales. I love solar, but this would be my ultimate dream to just make content. So I'm going to be doing, at least starting today, starting tomorrow, I will be making one short every single day, one long video daily, and I'll do 2 Patreon videos. So if you want to join my Patreon, you can go to Patreon, and it's This Matters. Actually, let me make sure that's correct. That is not correct. I can't promote the wrong Patreon. Hold on a second.
How many Patreons you got?
It's called the This Matters podcast. I do have, I've made a couple, but this is the one that I'm using. It actually has this same cover, this same background as the main thing. So it's patreon.com, This Matters podcast, and you'll get to see some of the behind the scenes, the editing, and you'll see me mess up a lot. And also I'll be making some extra content, at least 2 videos a week in there. And you can hang out in there, and there's a bunch of perks that you'll also get. So that being said, what's so funny? What are you laughing at?
My wife sent me a text that you're missing the craziness. There's a guy with a mask on standing outside of the coffee shop, filming inside the coffee shop.
He's standing outside filming into the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
welcome to America.
hey, it's us looking at us.
Oh, she said the cops got called on this Joker. Oh my goodness. He's going to Alligator Alcatraz.
All right, so no, that's fun. So I guess let's jump into the first video, and I guess let me give a little bit of pretext to this video. So Mohammed watched my first video that I made on an Alan Watts, which is the concept of the dream, and if you had control of your dreams, what would you do? And the overall idea or concept of the overarching concept of the Alan Watts stuff that we're talking about is that we are the universe. It's an illusion. This concept of you, the ego, is imaginary. It's made up. It's the universe viewing itself in a way that that's just fun. Because if you look at the universe, like I talk about this nebula, and you see these people make these comparisons to, like, the way our eye looks and certain star formations, or you see people always talk about the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah,
you see that and all across different things, and and plants and all kinds of places that you see the same sequence show up, and the same concept as far as the quantum experiment, the double slit experiment, where they talk about where you shoot photons or at 2 slits, and it forms an interference, or a wave pattern. But if you actually look at it, observe it, that it just makes two an interference matrix. Assuming not an interference. Interference is when there's waves, but it just makes 2 lines because you have interacted with the photon. And a lot of people take that as the observer being your eye, but it actually what changes it is the fact that observing means you have to shoot a photon at it to look at it. And I was listening to Brian Cox, and he was talking about someone who was saying,
musician?
No, he's a very famous astrophysicist.
Oh, the astrophysicist Brian Cox. Okay.
Yeah, so he's like from
There's
England.
okay.
And he was talking about this concept of, people looking at that double slit experiment and saying, looking at it as like, what's going on with quantum mechanics? And he was talking about another person, another physicist, who was like, why do we assume that we are something different? We are classical physics looking at quantum mechanics, and we are not a quantum being ourselves. And we are not becoming entangled with the thing that we're looking at, which is why it then collapses into a shape that's not the interference. Because the interference means it could be a wave of possibilities, but then when we look at it, it collapses on itself and it becomes one thing. But he's like, but why do we feel like we are something different than the actual thing we're observing? Like, we're made up of quantum. We're a quantum thing. And so anytime any quantum interferes with any quantum, it collapses it into, there's two different ideas, that it collapses the waves into one and makes one universe, or it splits and makes a multiverse, which is the one that I prefer. But it's the whole concept of, we think we're special, and so therefore we see ourselves as something that's not. We observe, like, aliens are going to kind of look like us, and everything is important to us. Like, I'm having this conversation. Muhammad knows about this conversation that I'm having with a friend of mine in IG chat, and she just doesn't understand evolution, and she thinks we're at the top and everything is like going up a ladder to get to us, and I'm like, that's not how evolution works. Evolution is a tree, and we're just one of the branches, one of the leaves on a branch of a tree. It's not a top. When we're not even on the top of the tree, there's no top. So anyway, I know I'm off topic here, but the idea is that we are a part of the universe. That there is no separate. There is no. And it's funny because as I listen to philosophical people like Alan Watts talk about it, and then I'll do another live talking about, there's a video by Neil deGrasse Tyson called "The Most Interesting Fact," and he says, people look up at the universe and they feel small because the universe is so big, and we're so tiny when you understand what you're looking at. But he says in the video, he's like, but I don't look at it that way. He's like, I look at it as I'm big, like I'm a part of this. Like, the things in the universe are also a part of me. The most common elements in the universe, in the order that they are in us in that same order. So like, what are we mostly made up of? Water, which is H2O. Well, the most common element in the universe is hydrogen. And so there's two of that for every O in us. So that's most of us. And then the next common element is oxygen. And then the next common element is carbon. And then the next common element is nitrogen. And then the next common element is other, and all the other stuff. And that's pretty much, and then other than helium, yes, I know there's going to be some nerd out there who's going to say helium, but helium's chemically inert and can't mix with anything. So it's just one hydrogen and one proton and one neutron, so electron. So it can't actually do anything with any other than change your voice around. So it's like, we're exactly what the universe is. We're the same stuff, but we have this concept of we're not. We're a separate being. I'm talking a lot. You have anything you want to add to any of this?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, listen away then. That's fine. Feel free to butt in.
I will.
I guess it is my podcast, so I should talk, but. I feel like I'm dominating the conversation, which I am.
No. I'll definitely, I'll say something when I think something needs to be said.
Yeah. So that's the idea, and it's the same idea over and over again, but it takes a while to get it. It's like it's like when you're in school. And you're learning something about math or something, and you do it, and you might even get it right. For a person, just like, I don't understand this at all, and then you kind of you do it and you get it right, but you're like, I got it right, but I'm not really sure I understand how I got it right. And then eventually there's just a point where you're just like, oh, like the light bulb goes on. It's like, I get it. Like I completely get it. And it reminds me of the there was a story about and I know I've said this to you before, but there's a story about a young student who goes to a Buddhist temple, and he's dealing with the I forget the it's not a Shaolin monk, but the why can't I think of the teachers of Buddhism? Why can't I think of their name? Anyway, whatever. We'll just call it the master. So there's a young student. He's at the temple, and he's learning this concept of everybody is, we are all the universe. Everything is the same. We're a part of. There is no difference between us and everything else. And so he's learning this concept, and he goes into town, and he's they send him to get some food or whatever to bring back, and as he's walking through the town, he hears like there's screaming, people yelling and screaming, and there's all this noise in the distance, and he looks and he sees an elephant trainer yelling at people, get out of the way, the elephant's loose, it's going mad. And the elephant is behind him, and it's tossing things around, it's running through the street, and he's screaming at people, get away, move, run. And so the student, the pupil is like, he's like, this is a chance to test the what my teacher has been teaching me. It's like, because I am one with the elephant. The elephant is me, and I am the elephant, and therefore I wouldn't hurt myself. So he doesn't move. So the elephant trainer runs past it. He's like, you get out of the street. And the elephant comes down, and he stands there and looks at the elephant and says, we are the same. And the elephant just runs right into him, knocks him down, he rolls over, and he falls into the marketplace. He gets all cut up and bruised, and so he gets up and he goes back to the temple, and he says, Master, like, they look at him, they say, what happened? He's like, there was an elephant that went crazy, and your teachings, I was listening to your teachings, and there was the trainer was there, and he was telling me to get out of the way, but I understood that me and the elephant were one, and we were the same, and therefore I would not be harmed. But then he ran me over. And the master looks at the pupil and says, well, you do understand that you were also the elephant trainer who was telling you to get out of the way. So the concept is, we are everything, but what do we focus on? We focus.
That was one of the first stories you told me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I definitely got to go back and listen to those shows. But the idea, and I feel like I use that every day in my life, is just the idea that everybody is either me before this life or after this life. And it really does change how you interact with people. But I feel like it also changes your motivations in life, depending on which video you watch that day.
Oh yeah, there's anytime I get into a mood or anything, even if I'm just it's really weird. I'll just go to YouTube. I'll just type in Alan Watts, and I'll just hit enter, and I find something that I'm like, oh, I was like exactly what I needed. It's really weird how that happens a lot. And even after watching as much as I have, I still find more concepts to listen to. But so going back to that story, I actually now that I'm thinking about it, is the concept of what do we put our attention on? Like, do we so in that story, he's putting his attention on the elephant and not on the trainer, and thinking that this is the way it should be. But as the teacher had said, as the master said, like, you're everything. Your attention. So, and I think this is what's going to happen in the video that we're going to play. But the idea of you putting your attention on who are you, like when I say you are all gods or we are all gods, it's like we think of ourselves as, you know, this name, Matt, Muhammad, that's been given to us, and we have, you know, the idea of when you think about who you actually are, like I'm moving my hand. I'm consciously making this decision to move my hand like this, but I don't know how I do this. If I had to explain in words how I'm making my fingers do this, I can't. I don't know what muscles, you know, this and that I'm moving, what nerves, what part of my brain is doing. It just all I know how to do this without ever being taught how to do this, and the same as when we talk about who we are, we kind of talk about our conscious thoughts. But it's like, okay, well, what about your heart beating? What about your foot? Like we say, this is my hand, as if my hand, if I said, well, is this part of me? Yes. Some people say, yes, it's part of me. Well, then why is it my hand? Like, why is this a hand a separate thing from me? Something I own or possess? Like I would say, this is my microphone. Why is this also my hand? They're both me, right? So the concept of, we don't think of it that way, but we think of our body as us, but then we don't talk about our body as us. We feel like we're something inside of our body that's controlling our body, almost like I think of the creature in Men in Black that's in that the alien that's in the human body, that's like the little tiny thing that's moving the little controllers around. And so is that who we really are? Or do we consider ourselves the thing that's thinking, or us? And if we are the thing that's thinking, if we are the conscious thing, like how much stuff do we do that we don't know how we do it? Like this is why I constantly, when I think of this concept, I just laugh inside. I'm just like, it's just a facade. It's just a game. It's like I can hear the universe, the me universe, laughing at the fact that we're all walking around in our daily life thinking this matters.
You matter.
that you matter, and you do matter. The funny part of it is, when you dive into this a little bit more, the universe, which is an eternal thing, right? And again, we're going to do a whole show on if we're living in a black hole, which I do believe we are.
Man, I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Well, there's a lot more recent scientific calculations that have come through. Like, for example, what's it called? It's hard to pronounce, but I'll think of it later. Let me look it up while we're talking. But the concept is that there's a mathematical equation that says the size of a black hole is equivalent to the amount of matter that it has swallowed. So how big it gets is based upon how much it's gone into the black hole. And when you put, it's called Schwarzschild radius equation, if anyone wants to look it up. Wait, no, that is not it. Schwarzschild radius, that's not it. Let's see, black hole, that's about the event horizon. Black hole equation about, I feel like I need that guy like Joe Rogan has. What's his name? Where he's like, hey, look this
Jamie. I know they found some of the oldest galaxies to be spinning in opposite directions, which made them believe that the galaxy had would have had to start spinning in a certain direction at the beginning. And that was more proof that we're probably inside of a black hole.
Yeah. All right,
But
there it is. Yeah, it is. I was right actually. It's called the Schwarzschild
Mm.
black hole radius. It says the Schwarzschild radius, and therefore the black hole's area is directly proportional to its mass, which means the more mass of the black hole will have a larger event horizon and a larger surface area. So there's an actual equation here that you can do. It's A equals 4 pi R2, whatever the hell that all means. And but the point being is, if you put what they think is the size of our universe into this equation, or the mass, excuse me, if you put the mass of what they think the mass of the universe is into this equation, it turns out that it's the size of the universe that we're in, which is another. It's pretty freaky that it actually comes out to that, and that we have all this energy, like our universe is expanding, and it's like, well, why is it expanding? Why is it still like people talk about the Big Bang as if it's something that happened a long time ago, but the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light. So is it really something that happened a long time ago, or is it something that's still happening? If we think of an explosion, things are flying out. We don't say, well, it's over once, as long as it's still growing, still going, then it's still exploding. It's still banging. So just the universe Big Bang is, 13 billion years going. And so,
Yeah.
But the concept is, where does the energy come? Like when we talk about dark matter and dark energy, and I just believe it's coming from the universe that's bigger than ours, that we're the black hole that's got a solar a galaxy surrounding it that it's swallowing up and putting into us and making us grow, and then we have all these other black holes that are, because a universe can be, what does it really mean to be big or small? Like, it's only in relationship to us. Like, we see the universe as
Everything's big in relationship to us.
right. Well, not really though, because everything's small in relationship. Like, so we actually had this talk. Actually, I went back and found it, where I had said to you that there are, more stars. I don't know if you remember this. But it was like there's more stars in the universe than the land than grains of sand on planet Earth. And then I was like, let's look this up. And then we started looking it up to figure it out. And then it turned out that not only is that true, but there's 10,000 stars for every grain of sand on Earth. And that was our discussion, and we kind of went more on that. But after that, now I've gotten into more. So there are more molecules of water in 2 cups of water than there are stars in the universe. so look how much is small as well. Like, how much more is there in the other direction? So it's everything, this big and small. It's nonsensical. Like, it's almost like being in space and trying to figure out where up and down is. It's just something that we have to use to navigate the Earth. And
once you get to the quantum.
Yeah, but even on the quantum level, it's like, is the quantum the smallest that it is, or is just that? Well,
we don't have tools to measure it yet.
Right. And is, how, so this is actually another Alan Watts thing where he talks about, he's like, as big as the universe is, like, however good our tools get, we'll just find more. It just continues to go on and on forever. Like, if we got better tools, then we would just find.
Or we lose our tools and have to start over.
Or it's like, it's the. All right, so let me go back to my original premise now. The original premise is, if you are a being, a consciousness, and the concept of time doesn't matter to you because you've always been and you always will be. First of all, it just sounds awful. Like like to think that you'll never die. And when you think of the time of like when we start thinking of like billions of years, trillions of years, quintillion, septillion, like just going on forever and ever and ever, right? At some point you're going to be like, this is just boring. So now you create beings like us, or you create just a thought process in your mind because you have ultimate power. You create these things that it's you know, going back to me thinking like the universe is just laughing at us, like not knowing who we are. It's you forgetting what you're doing, forgetting you have all this power, and then all of a sudden you do all these things, you don't know how to do them, and you don't know how you do it, but you do it. You have all this knowledge of how to beat your heart, how to circulate your blood, how to form your body, all this stuff that you consider you, and yet as far as that goes, we don't know how to do it. And the universe knows how to do it, and then it gives us this ego to say to think that, you know, our problems matter, you know, like, you know, your family matters, this, that, and because it creates small little games. You know, we actually talked about this before, that there's these games going on. Like we're going into football season and everyone's excited about football season. Not everyone. There's people out there who could care less about football season. never
Right.
seen a football game, don't know anything about it, don't know the rules, don't even know like so we have the Super Bowl and we think it's important, and you know there's some people in Africa who just care about getting some shirts, you know, like, oh, every year right around this time we get some shirts. We don't even know what they say, but yeah, you know, that's the Super Bowl to them.
Yeah.
So we're playing these games as an ego, as the universe, saying let's make some game. Let's make a game. I'm playing the Mac game. You're playing the Muhammad game. Everyone's playing their game, and we make the game matter. Like when you play a game, like I play volleyball, and it really matters to me while I'm playing. It doesn't matter to anybody else other than the people playing the game. Maybe
Right.
some people are rooting, but to me, it really matters. And like, just like to me, my life really matters. But then when the game's over, the game's over. You know, it's like, I hate some of the people I play with while we're playing. And as soon as the game's over, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, shake hands and that's it. And so this game, you know, when I think about dying, when you think about your life ending, it's like the concept of going to a heaven where you're going to live forever. That concept doesn't make sense. That won't even, like, we're going to live forever in bliss and happiness. That sounds horrible. That sounds like somebody who hasn't really thought about the term forever, as far as that goes. And that's
well, if you are doing everything, then living forever would be one of those everythings.
Well, the universe itself is, yes, but that's my point. It's the universe is doing something, like the taking my worldview out of it and then looking at someone's worldview who is of that belief that we are a thing, a person, that I'm going to die and then I have a soul and the soul is going to go and live forever in happiness, like that as a different worldview than the one I'm portraying. To me, that worldview doesn't mesh with me when I think about forever, because you can't. How could you be happy forever? Like there's no whatever you think is happiness. Whatever right now, if you, and then goes back to the dream world, and one of the things I asked in that video was, you know, the self-gratification phase, like how long could you go just self-gratification, like anything you want pops up in a second. You know, you can just send dopamine to
Forever.
Right. Like, but the thing is, you wouldn't do it forever. Like, at some point, you just be like, "This is boring. This is like, I'm just gonna sending dopamine to my brain, and just feeling." Because then, oh, so they talk about this.
What about sociopaths?
Even they're not even doing what they're doing. They don't even have a sociopath, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. They just don't feel. Do they not feel anything, or they just don't feel empathy?
They don't feel anything. Psychopaths don't feel empathy.
Okay.
Like they kill without empathy. Sociopaths, they don't feel anything. They just, I don't know. I explain it. They just go.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like a sociopath may find something mundane and just do it forever. But I'm just saying, you know, different. There's definitely forevers out there that could exist, and the universe probably did it, so you don't have to.
Well,
but
it is a forever. The universe itself is a forever.
Right, but the like dying and living forever is like is a different life than this one. Like this vessel and consciousness has to leave all of these people here to go to something else. So it's not concrete. It's nothing that like if the universe, I don't know, like the universe already would do it. Like if it died, it could live the next life as that person's perfect existence for what would seem like forever.
Right. It wouldn't be. So that concept, though. So first of all, you'd have
time. Yeah. What is forever to that being?
Right. You'd have to. A couple of things is number one, people like when you go to like a funeral or something, people talk about like, oh, this person's looking down at you. Like George Carlin used to say something like that. It's like he's like, oh, they're up there looking down at me. Like, really? Like that's what you think's happening? Like I just got to look down at you forever watching. Like would it really matter your kids like wouldn't you be at some point? Don't you just be like, all right, who cares anymore? Why do I still got to deal with this? I think Louis C.K. does something about that also, where he's like what if there's like two old people, they're married for like 50 years and then one of them dies and then the other one lives on for like another 10 years and then they finally pass and they go to Henry and they go, hey Henry, you know, your wife's coming. What wife? He's been living 10 years. He's young. We're out on the girls. Like, wait a second. No, your true love is coming to your afterlife. He's like, no, that's over. Like, why do I gotta deal with that again? So the concept, the thought I'm talking about though is people seeing you, the ego, dying and then going on to another life. It's like, no, the ego would be gone at that point. You know, there's a video called it's one of my favorites. It's a Sam Harris video. It's called Game Set Man.
What if the ego is the electron?
What do you mean?
Because if the ego isn't the id or the lower self, if that's like you when you're conscious, if that is the universe experiencing each life over and over again, then it would have to move at absolute speeds, you know, unbroken by what we know and as light, forward and backwards through time, like the electron is supposed to be able to do. And maybe that electron holds the eternal consciousness that is just playing.
Yeah, I think, well, as far as the actual eternal consciousness, I mean, what it is, if you want to put it into a physical name thing. So I don't think there are any things. Almost like you're saying aren't you your blood cell? Like taking one blood cell and saying, is that you? Well, yes, that blood cell is you. It is necessary for you to exist.
I'm
But
talking about the you past our single existence. The
right, that's
you,
I'm comparing us to the blood cell and
yeah.
a whole body, me being the part of the universe. That seems like it's important. I'm important to the universe. I am I am the same thing, just a part of it. And so when you're saying an electron,
Mhm.
I just see an electron as part of the whole you. Like the actual consciousness, I don't even know what to call it. It's just the entirety of the entirety.
Well, nothing exists without it.
Right. Correct. Yes.
And
In all dimensions.
it
In
can't
all
be measured,
in all
you
men-
know.
in all dimensions and in all universes.
It's the only thing observed to go forward and backwards in time.
Well, all right, we have to. By the way, I was talking with my friend Jay a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago, and I had an epiphany as I was explaining to him something. Actually, I don't think I've talked to you about this. We were talking about black hole. I was trying to explain to him that concept of black hole, right? And it broke his brain for a couple seconds. He was just like, and
Yeah,
but
people
then
trying to pay rent, thinking about black holes is
so.
a hobby.
But it was cool because he was just trying to grab it and grab the concept. So we were talking about in the center of a black hole, time doesn't exist.
Right.
Because space doesn't exist. Because everything is in one point. If there's no space, then there's no need for time. Because everything is in the same spot. There's no place to go. So
because we can't observe what's in a black hole.
Well, yes, but theoretically, when you get to a point of a single point, right? Like, so there's a line, there's the different dimensions, a line, and then the third dimension.
Yeah.
But the first dimension is a single point, right? And at that dimension, at that single point, space and time are the same. There's no space, so there's no time.
Yes. There's no beginning, no end. There's just a focus.
Right. And you wouldn't need time because there's no what's the point of it if everything's in one spot? If everything is already there, there's no passage of time needed because everything is in one spot. So once those two things separate, once there's space, now there needs to be time to get from one spot to another, for light to travel, for anything to happen, right?
As soon as everything's ripped apart at the event horizon, as it goes to that point, we can't see it anymore. All we see is the black in the center, but we don't actually see where the matter and the light and the energy goes to because there is no time and there is no space. So we don't know where it is on the other side of that darkness we see in the center of the black hole.
So the concept of because so this is why we can't bring things to absolute zero, because if you bring something to absolute zero, you would stop time because the molecules would stop moving. Because if you're not moving, then you don't need time at all.
That's how they made that new microchip, the new quantum chip.
Oh, the one, and they cooled it down to.
Yep. They made a new. Matter energy, a new. I forget what they said.
Yeah, I remember.
But a new material that is not. It's not liquid. It's not gas. It's not solid. It's not plasma. It's like a time gel.
Right, and it can do, and that way it can. because if you can do everything with no time, if you can cool something down to no time, and you can actually get it to do something, you could do it all at the same. Time doesn't exist, so you can do infinite amount of things in no time, right? So,
Yeah.
but the concept that we were getting to, though, that I wanted to explain to you. So we were doing that. So that's stopping time by stopping space, by slowing things down to nothing, right? Now on the opposite, because you already know this, when else does time stop? There's another time when time stops, other than when you slow it down to nothing in a black hole.
When you're at or past the speed of light.
Right. So now, when you're at the speed of light, going as fast as you possibly can, you also stop time. Like time doesn't, like a photon that leaves, that takes 2 billion years, one of these suckers behind me, to reach our eye. In the concept of the photon itself, no time has passed, even though to me it's taken 2 billion years, but no time, because it's going at that speed. It's going, so it's interesting that there's two, and I haven't fleshed this idea out even more than this, but I was just like, wait a second. So if you go as fast as you possibly can, time stops, and if you go as slow as you possibly can, time stops.
Well, like the math says that if you go faster than light, you can theoretically go forward in time, and if you can slow molecules down to below zero and lower, you can go back.
Yeah, but what does that even mean? What does it mean to slow a molecule down more than stop?
I think it's just theoretical. It's not. There's no tools to measure. Create.
It's the reason why the speed of light is not like it's not like a light. It's not a speed of like, okay, like all it's saying is if you stripped away all mass, it's taking E equals mc squared, and if you bring mass to zero, then all you have is now the speed of light, which is the c squared. And so the energy would just be light, and that's why that's the speed limit, because that's as fast as you can go with no mass. Light is the only thing that we know. Let me not say that. Neutrinos, different things that can go the speed of light, but that's how far that's just how fast you can go with eliminating mass. So things with no mass just could go that fast. But at that point, time stops. But the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light, which is why we can't see past. Oh my goodness, they actually, I didn't even think of this. They call the edge of the universe the horizon, right? Yeah. Just like the black hole has an event horizon. We can't see past 13 point whatever years ago, the Big Bang with the cosmic radiation, background radiation. We can't see past that because the stars that have gotten, because the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light, the light from anything past that horizon can't get to us because the universe is expanding too fast. Which I watched somebody, I don't know, some video or whatever, and they were talking. Actually, was oh man, now I can't remember his name. That's gonna bother me. But anyway, he was talking about how because the universe is expanding so fast, eventually we'll get to the point where, like, there was a time when we thought the universe was our galaxy, like everything. We didn't understand other galaxies, how galaxies existed. And he was like, because of the fact that the universe is expanding in all different directions at the same time, there will eventually be a time where the galaxies will be so far apart that we won't be able to see any more galaxies. We'll think we're the only galaxy, even though in history, like, we won't know that other galaxies existed because the light from them won't ever get to us. Okay.
I know you wanted to play that video.
Yeah, let's get to it. I'm chatting away. So
I just looked at the live. We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes.
I know. It was fast. All right, so this video is it's only 7 minutes long. I'm gonna see. Actually, you know what? Let me do it like this. Yeah, look at that.
I'm a mute.
Can you? Well, I want to see. Can you play that, or can you? Do you see a play button for that down here?
No,
You
I do
can't-
not.
You can't play or pause it, right?
I don't see anything. No.
Got it. All right, so let's play it. Let's go into some Alan, and then you tell me if you want to stop for anything. I'm going to stop it.
I can share screen and play and do stuff from my side, but I can't play your stuff.
Got it. Okay, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out eventually. I know there's got to be a way. All right, so here we go. So here's some Alan Watts. This is a 7-minute video. I'll put the link in the description if it's in. If I put making this as a video.
Control D to mute. That didn't work.
You see, the problem is this. We identify in our experience a differentiation between what we do and what happens to us. We have a certain number of actions that we define as voluntary, and we feel in control of those. And then over against that, there is all those things that are involuntary. But the dividing line between these two is very arbitrary. Because, for example, when you move your hand, you feel that you decide whether to open it or to close it. But then ask yourself, how do you decide? When you decide to open your hand, do you first decide to decide? You don't, do you? You just decide, and how do you do that? And if you don't know how you do it, is it voluntary or involuntary? Let's consider breathing. You can feel that you breathe deliberately. You can control your breath. But when you don't think about it, it goes on. Is it voluntary or involuntary? And so we come to have a very arbitrary definition of self. That much of my activity which I feel I do. And that then doesn't include breathing most of the time. It doesn't include the heartbeats. It doesn't include the activity of the glands. It doesn't include digestion. It doesn't include how you shape your bones, circulate your blood. Do you or do you not do these things? Now, if you get with yourself and you find out that you are all of yourself, a very strange thing happens. You find that your body knows that you are one with the universe. In other words, that the so-called involuntary circulation of your blood is one continuous process with the stars shining. If you find out that it's you who circulates your blood, you will at the same moment find out that you are shining the sun. Because your physical organism is one continuous process with everything else that's going on. Just as the waves are continuous with the ocean, your body is continuous with the total energy system of the cosmos. And it's all you. Only you're playing the game that you're only this bit of it. But as I tried to explain, there are in physical reality no such things as separate events. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it? You never learned, but you're this miracle? Well, the point is that from a strictly physical, scientific standpoint, this organism is a continuous energy with everything else that's going on. And if I am my foot, I am the sun. Only we've got this little partial view. We've got the idea that, no, I'm just something in this body, the ego. That's a joke. The ego is nothing other than the focus of conscious attention. It's like a radar on a ship. The radar on a ship is a troubleshooter. Is there anything in the way? And conscious attention is a designed function of the brain to scan the environment, like a radar does, and note for any trouble-making changes. But if you identify yourself with your troubleshooter, then naturally you define yourself as being in a perpetual state of anxiety. And the moment we cease to identify with the ego and become aware that we are the whole organism, you realize as the first thing how harmonious it all is. Because your organism is a miracle of harmony. All this thing functioning together. Even those corpuscles and creatures that are fighting each other in the bloodstream and eating each other up. If they weren't doing that, you wouldn't be healthy. So what is discord at one level of your being is harmony at a higher level. And you begin to realize that, and you begin to be aware too that the discords of your life and the discords of people's life, which are a fight at one level, at a higher level of the universe, are healthy and harmonious. And you suddenly realize that everything that you are and do is at that level as magnificent and as free of any blemish as the patterns in waves, the markings in marble, the way a cat moves, and that this world is really okay and can't be anything else, because otherwise it couldn't exist. So then, if you awaken from this illusion, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
God, man. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
When you listen to that last part especially, right? It's almost like somebody realized that 2,000 years ago was like, if we just tell everybody that they really can't get there, but this one dude did, and you need him to get to heaven, you're going to be okay. That makes so much more sense. Because they were like, yo, everybody don't need to know this. Nah, keep your mouth closed. Let's just say this one dude did it. And through him, that's how we'll get him. Man, that's crazy. But like the end of it, it kind of came off like, if you had told everybody 2,000 years ago this, we would have a peaceful world,
Well, it's like I wish I was as eloquent to put things the way
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
Him explaining it is, and the thing is that I've heard the concept so many times, but you need, like I was saying before with math, like you need to hear it a bunch of different ways to really incorporate it. And the thing is that's funny is that you, capital U, doesn't want lowercase u to think about it. Like, it wants you to forget, because that's the fun. That's the game. The game is you being stressed out about paying your bills and you know, and you know what's going on with your kids and what's going on with your parents and you know the this and that like that's what the universe, because it's going to be here forever. So it's like, let's just play this game. Let's get involved in something small, the volleyball game, and and totally lose ourselves in it. No, but knowing that it's all a facade, like that, but forgetting that it's a facade, you know. But you know, let's get, so, and that's why it makes things matter because they don't. Nothing matters.
You know, it's interesting because, and I don't know how much more time you got, but that just makes me think about how many times over the past 4 or 5 years I've been like, hey, I need you to remind me why everything matters, you know, and like why I should continue playing the game, you know, like those times. It's just like, oh yeah, that's right. It's just because.
Yeah, and it's what the universe wants.
Right.
It's what you want.
That's what you want. Exactly. That's what the female sheep want. You gotta, what the female sheep want, they get. Exactly.
But I love that. I was writing down some notes here. It's like, and the cool thing about this is, as I was saying before you actually jumped on, is you know, and Alan has a whole talk on this as well. But he talks about, you know, how we're conditioned in the Western world to think there's only like two main, Alan calls them myths, you know, the autocratic, which is like the God version of the world, and then the fully automatic, which is like the atheist materialist way of the world, and it's either one or the other, you know, and he's like, most people have gone away from the autocratic, the God one, because they're tired of, you know, so there's this guy watching me all the time, or guy, girl, whatever. There's this entity that's watching me all the time. Like when I'm taking a crap, like when I'm doing, like every time I'm thinking it's always like, that's boring. Leave me alone. Like I don't want that anymore. And so we go the other way. But then the materialistic, because I was a materialist for a while, but I remember in college having finding the problem with materialism of thinking that the world is just, it has no consciousness. And this is what I struggle to explain to people who, like, especially the theists, the people who are trying to tell me God exists. And like, well, what do you believe? And I go, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Or they do my favorite thing. They tell me what I believe. Well, you believe this.
Oh my God.
Thanks. Thank you. That's not. Thank you for telling me what I believe.
You just gave me what you call agita.
But it's like, I believe in a consciousness? Yes. Do I believe in a God? Yes. But not in the God that you believe in. Like, I don't use that. I believe I am God. I believe you are God. Like, I believe the universe, it's all the same.
They hate when you say that they're God. Oh man. Especially Christians and Muslims. When you say they're God, like they almost feel like they just sinned. Just for even having the thought, like, I'm God. No, like they like get so defensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying about how at the end of that Alan Watts video, I was like, it sounds like somebody 2,000 years ago was like, wait a minute, let's not let them have these feelings and thoughts of freedom and acceptance of everybody as being equal, and let's divide them by giving them these different sides of the coin to fight about who's right and wrong.
Right. And there's also there's another Alan Watts talk where he says the Buddhist can accept the Christian in that, like, or he's like the Christian, like for example, Judaism can accept Christianity. They just don't believe, you know, that Christ was God, you know, was you know, as far as that goes, but they can incorporate it because they don't have that belief. And he's like, the Buddhist looks at the Christian and the Jew and says, okay, he's like, yeah, I could accept what you're saying, because like when you say like there is, Jesus, there was this God, and yeah, I mean, that's not the complete story, but sure, you got, yeah, he was God and you're God, but it's how you're coming on, your thoughts, you're coming on as this, you're the universe coming on as this person who deeply believes that you're not you, that only this one person can be you. So hey, cool. And just like that's your, I can go with that. To buy like the Buddhist thing there. It's just accepting everything as
Right.
as that's just the way it is. I wrote down that whole part where he gets to like the involuntary part.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just what I'm trying to say, but I can't find the words to say it the way he says it. So it's like, how do you, all these things that we're able to do, like all these words that I've been saying for the last hour and 28 minutes, I didn't plan them out. I don't know where they come from. I don't know how I came up with them. It's like, it's the words are just falling out of my mouth right now. I have it's not like I could think before I say them. They just come out. And
Right.
so how do I
Well,
do that?
it's like you preset reactions to stimuli. Like you have a preset this feeling I want to emit if someone says or does this, or if this happens, and you just store all these concepts in your frontal cortex, and then when you hear me say what I'm saying right now, they start to arrange in a way of a response, and then that response comes out based on all the stimuli you've taken in throughout your existence.
Well, that will lead us to the other discussion we've had before as far as free will goes, because
Oh no.
probably a whole bunch of,
Oh.
because now there's a whole bunch of me's that had different said different things and created whole new universes and blah blah blah. And so kind of getting to like the big and the little of things, I think about that all the time. It's like every single person on the planet making decisions, splitting the universe, making multiple universes where those things are going on. And it's like, how would that even be possible? It's like, but why wouldn't it be possible? Like, again, the concept of infinity is so daunting to think about.
Right.
And it's fun now that this just popped into my head just now, but it's like, it's daunting to me because I actually take the time to think about large numbers, because I think about space so much. You know, I think most people they think millions, billions, trillions, whatever, it's just a big number. And because I've taken the time to break this down.
One of my favorite videos with that is the videos that show like our star compared to the different size stars,
right,
are like when they show like the center of our black hole compared to our star, compared to other stars, and then compared to other black holes, and you're like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, it just breaks your brain. And
what is that thing called? The annihilator? The thing that's eating our galaxy and all the other galaxies in our local area.
I have not heard about that.
We can't see it. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
You look up the Annihilator. That's something I definitely have not heard of. Hello, TikTok live people. By the way, I should address you a little bit. Thank you for hanging out. YouTube.
Can you see the private chat that I sent you? Can you read this? There's comments and chat and private chat under the StreamYard.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so the comments is on YouTube. The private chat is just between us.
Yeah.
What's eating?
Yeah. Wait. So
our Galaxy. It's called the Great something.
Oh, whoops! I just I just typed in caps, but whatever. All right. So if you are watching this live, leave a comment because I see some people leaving comments. I see the dry
I think I see it.
Mariner left a comment. Cool. Crusader left a comment. So I'll be able to. So I guess when there's a YouTube live going on. Oh. And hey, Christelle says hello.
Hey, so I said, how's it going?
I think she's on my. She's on. I have the TikTok going on as well. While we're doing this.
What? Did you know that the Milky Way galaxy is actually eating a galaxy right now?
We are entwined with the Andromeda, right?
No, we're gonna be entwined with Andromeda. Right now, we're eating the Sagittarius dwarf Spiridol galaxy. It is currently in the process of being consumed by the Milky Way galaxy.
Cool.
As it passes through within the next 100 million years, it will. Jesus Christ, that's the thing. It's like, who cares? 100 million years. I don't care. 100 million. The hell?
But that's see that. Oh, because who it was? I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this. It's like, in the average lifespan of a human, when we were like back in the caves and only in Africa, was about 30 years. Was like 30 years old. Was like the lifespan of a human, and he's like, and until like 1940, in like 1940s, the average lifespan of a human was 35 years. Like it's only like in the last 100 years that we've gotten these lifespans of 60, 70, 80 years. And we think that's like amazing. And then you think like, hey, stars are around for 100 million years. This is going to happen. So it's like, we're going to do a cast about the future.
Oh, it's called The Great Attractor.
The Great Attractor. I think I've heard that.
Yeah, it's The Great Attractor is the most terrifying cosmological thing I've ever read about, and it's the only thing I wish I didn't read about. It's terrifying. So we're in the Virgo supercluster, and the Great Attractor is basically eating all of the galaxies in our supercluster and like other superclusters near us. That's how big it is. and because of where it is, we can't see it. So the scientists just call it the Great Attractor because we can't see it.
We can't see it because of because of where we are in our galaxy, I'm assuming.
Right, because all the galaxies in front of us are being pulled into it. Okay. The light can't escape to show us what's on the other side of this great darkness. And that's part of the Great Attractor is the great darkness, which we can't see past. And that's why it's so terrifying because, like, I don't know, you could come up with anything. And it could, what if there's a giant dragon back there that's like, our galaxy is like a skin cell, like it's just back there gobbling up galaxies. I don't know.
Right.
That's how religions get created. You don't know. Let's put something in there. But this is, if you were going to pray to anything, pray to the Great Attractor because it's real and it's going to kill us one day.
And the thing is that what is it going to do? Swallow us and put us into another universe?
It's probably just a giant black hole feeding into another universe.
Right.
That'd be cool.
And the thing is that these things are they're so big and so small. Like there's so much stuff going on.
Right.
Again, and just getting back to the whole what matters. It's like on a lower level, on a higher, like on all these different levels. you sit back and you go, it's just the one consciousness playing around. Like, well, I'm gonna be here forever. Why can't I make a thing that's eaten all the universes and galaxies? How long will it take? 100 million years, whatever. You know. And then this guy is gonna play. You know, we got this dude here who's born, and you know, and we're gonna make him the best basketball player of all time, but everyone hates him because he's not this other basketball player. Like, that's a whole game too. Let's just do. We're just gonna play a whole bunch of fun things because I ain't got nothing else to do.
All right, I'm gonna see if this works.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this in the private chat. It should be an image of our local galaxy cluster and showing our galaxy.
Yeah.
do you see the thumbnail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like, there's our little tiny galaxy in this giant galaxy cluster, and we're just one of many galaxy clusters the great attractor's eating. So that's terrifying. That's terrifying, right? And tell me that's not terrifying. So this little dot there, that's our galaxy. These are all the galaxies in our galaxy cluster, right? So this is hundreds of thousands of galaxies, right? There's a thing over here called the Great Attractor that's eating multiple super clusters. Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, I think my wife sent me that originally. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. But
I'm going to, for those of you who know what the heck Mom is talking about. Let me see if I can bring it up. There we go.
yeah, it's like most people can't get through their minds how big our solar system is.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And we're just a speck in the galaxy, and our galaxy is just a speck in a supercluster, and a supercluster is just a lunch meal to the Great Attractor. You know, it's Great Attractor beating everybody God on Earth right now. I'm just telling them that right now. Great Attractor's crushing all of their gods.
I'm trying to bring up the picture, but I'm seeming to have an issue trying to bring it up. Figure it out.
Bless you.
Here it is.
There it is.
There we go.
Wow. Yeah. So you can see the little Milky Way galaxy, and just understanding that string in the middle is hundreds of galaxies interweaving with each other, eating each other up.
Right.
I think it's called the lock. What's it? Starts with an L. Supercluster. What's our super cluster? Laniakea.
Oh yes, yeah.
Laniakea.
Something. Yeah, I guess.
That's the picture that you're looking at right now. That's the picture you're looking at. It means immense heaven in Hawaiian.
Right.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, so this is a super cluster of galaxies, and then Virgo, the Virgo super cluster is like the arm that we're in right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't see where I'm on my screen circling.
Yeah.
But it's unfathomable, like, to even be able to understand where you would have to be in the universe to take this picture if it was a real picture. And of course, flat earthers will say, "See, look, there. Who took this picture?" You know, it's like if you can't understand how you can use math to create a rendering, like you know, you can't really even finish that conversation. But oh yeah, but like you were saying, when you start thinking about the big, and then we could literally go the opposite and start looking at the small. You know, things going on in the micro is just unbelievable at the same time as well.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to.
But I am going to
get going.
have to wrap pretty shortly. Are you gonna stick around and finish out and wrap it up?
Yeah.
Or did you finish that one video?
Yeah, that
You
was
finished
that video. That video's done. It's only
Mhm.
7 minutes long. I have a second one, but I'm pretty
I-
satisfied with where we are today.
Yeah, I think you'll have plenty of content to pick from out of this. Also, since I have an account on StreamYard, it saves it for me as well, which is cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I hope this is the first of many of these.
Yeah.
What did we call the Alan Watts shows on stereo?
What's up?
No, I'm gonna go back and find it. We had a really cool. I think it was similar, but I do want to go back and start listening to those shows. Oh snap!
Oh.
You have a second cam?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on right now. I'm just trying to.
You making some content, huh? Okay.
I'm trying to make this my. We'll talk outside of this. But.
You ever see the guy with the hat? And he takes it off on the Omegle, and he has that camera he turns to with the purple. That's what that camera looked like. That's the Riz camera. You got to use that for Riz.
I gotta get ready. I gotta get better at this because I'm trying to show you.
I got to get me a Riz camera. That's dope.
I got a picture of the Great Attractor here. And I'm trying to pull it up, but I'm gonna remove that.
Well, this is a testing. This is a test run.
You test run, yeah. This is episode 1 of a lot to do. But
you're gonna have episode 1, part 2 to vet that guy on TikTok.
They're all gonna be episode 1.
Episode 1, part 3.
Part 3, part 4.
Oh my god.
Oh, and I think I figured out how to do it. There we go. That share. Beautiful. Okay, now I got it. Head stage. There we go.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even. Yep. Because see where it says Virgo, that's our supercluster is the Virgo supercluster, which is in the Lana Kai. I can't pronounce it. I don't want to mess it up.
So we're talking about this.
That's the Virgo,
and
there's the Great Attractor. Yeah. Ugh. And you know what else is crazy? There's Pisces. Like if it I don't understand because like you can see all the areas that make up if you look at the cluster that we're in. It's so cool.
Yeah, and people, if you're looking at this, like I don't think people would look at this and under. But by the way, what does this look like? This just looks like our circulatory system.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Like literally, each galaxy is a blood cell.
Yeah, and then this is not a. Yeah, these aren't even. I don't even know. Is these lights galaxies inside of the super? Yeah, okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think those lights are black holes because it's not blue shifted or red shifted. There's no shift there.
And then we look at all this, and then you say, well, "What's in this space?"
That's the scary stuff. That's the scary stuff.
What about the black areas? This is.
I gotta find this episode. It's the second to last season of Voyager, And there's an episode where they go through an area of space that at warp 9, which is 9 times the speed limit, the speed miles per 9 times the speed of light, it still took them weeks to go through this area. And when you think about moving at 9 times the speed of light, taking 3 weeks, how far that distance would have to be, it was so dark that they couldn't see any stars, and they were starting to go crazy. And then somebody saw a star from like a far distance, and like everybody started to like feel better. But it was like they were like, oh, they were losing their minds because it was that dark. And you know, we had the same things with like people in submarines. So that's a great episode. You would love that episode.
What? You said a Voyager?
It's Voyager. Yeah. Oh man, Janeway.
Well, I'll wrap up on this because I was doing this with my volleyball team the other day. I was like talking about what is the how far light travels in a year. Like there's the speed of light, but how far actual light travels in a year, and how many miles it is.
The actual miles?
Yes.
That's a long number.
Yeah. So if you had to take a guess, I'm going to pull it up.
Because I know it takes 7 minutes for light to get here from the sun. How long did you say? A week?
What for light? No, light from the sun reaches Earth in 8.
No. How long did you say? How long are you saying?
How many miles does light travel in a year?
In a year. That's what I'm saying. So if you're saying how long in a year, God, that's unbelievable amount of distance. If it takes 7 minutes or 7 or 8 minutes to get here from the sun, then that would be 10 times the distance from here to the sun times 24 times 360, which is stupid. That's a crazy number. That's a crazy number.
93 million miles from Earth to the sun.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a crazy number. That's a crazy number. 93 million times 10 times 24 times 300. Yeah, 8.8 trillion. That makes sense.
No,
yeah.
5.8.
5.8 trillion makes sense. Yeah. That's a crazy distance. So that's probably here to the next fucking star.
No. So yeah, so when you think about this, because when you're talking about space, this is what I was doing with my volleyball group.
The next star is 1 light year away, isn't it?
They'll say nope. I'll tell you in a second. Okay. So they'll say things like, oh, this is so many light years away, and people say, oh, it's 6 light years away. Okay, well that it's like sounds like 6. Right. The closest star is 4 light years away. It's Alpha. It's not Alpha Centauri. It's Alpha.
Okay.
Lima or something like that.
Okay, so 20 trillion miles. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. 20 trillion miles.
Yeah, Proxima Centauri. Yeah, 4.2. Yeah, see, it's just
25 trillion miles. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's just
40 trillion kilometers.
Trillion, by the way. Just for those of you who don't understand how big a trillion is, it takes 11 days to count to a million by second. 11 million seconds. 11 days is a million seconds. 31 years is a billion seconds. Just
crazy.
That's million to billion. So you add another 3 to get the trillion. That's 31,000 years to count to a trillion.
Yeah.
By seconds. So when you're saying 25 trillion miles away, and that's just to the next star, and then we go back and we're talking about to kind of put that into perspective. Now we've been talking about this thing, which is galaxies as far apart.
I'm gonna have to run though.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll wrap it up here. 587 billion light years.
What?
That's what we're looking at here. This is 581 million light years.
Light years.
Yes.
Oh, wait, 581 million times 5.8 trillion. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Those numbers aren't
Yeah,
even.
it's
It's nonsensical. They're nonsensical numbers.
Yeah.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up with a bang. That was a pretty good. That was a pretty good.
That was a good one.
Wrap up.
All right.
Thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate
Thanks
you,
for having me.
joining us. And
All right.
actually, you can go. I'll do a little outro here with just promoting some stuff, and we'll do more. I'm gonna be doing this every Sunday. So.
All right. Like I always say, love's always the answer. See ya.
See ya, Mohammed. All right. So, cool. Yeah. So we're all going on 2 hours. I think that's pretty good. I think that was a pretty good wrap up. Finally got to some cosmic stuff. But yeah, the concept of how big things are and how little things are and how it all matters. It all matters and it all doesn't matter. It's pretty cool to think about as far as what's going on, and just understand that to think about these concepts and spend a little bit of time. Hopefully, as I said, the objective of Cosmic Matters is to entertain your brain for a little bit, get you a little bit out of your focus area of your life, and just have some fun about thinking about what's actually going on out here. And the funny thing is, you can't do anything about it. You do it, but to understand and think about it is a fun thing. It's mind expanding, and that's what we want to do. So, again, my overall goal is to do talks like this. As time goes on, I'm going to be putting up polls. I got things on my Patreon. Again, if you want to check out the Patreon, there's not much on there right now. I'm just getting all this started. But the more support I get, the faster I will be able to. I'd love to quit the job and just do this and have guests and have people on and have people part of the community. I'm working on some merch. It's basically what I'm going to be spending the rest of today doing as far as that goes. And I got so much more to share, so much more to talk about, and that I'm excited to talk about with you guys. So yes, so check out the socials. Philosophy Man 76 here on YouTube, on TikTok. It's Matty Wash 76. Thank you for. I see I've had somebody who's in here the entire time. Thank you so much. Appreciate the. Oh, and I got some hearts in there too. Cool. Appreciate that. I'll keep that going. You can check out this. I will be breaking this up into smaller bit pieces. I'm going to be putting up content every day on the YouTube and the TikToks. And we'll be talking about even more other stuff. Like I said, we'll be doing politics matter, health matters, money matters. We'll be doing all that coming up. But for now, we got Cosmic Matters, and we'll be talking about this kind of stuff. Some little Alan Watts, a little philosophy every Sunday at 10. And maybe I'll keep it at around 2 hours. So thank you for your time. Appreciate you hanging out with me. And I will see you all soon. I got to think of like a cool, sign off. But if you have any suggestions, hey, Cosmic Matters came from a suggestion. So any suggestions for signs off or sign-ons or anything like that, I'm open to the universe and all the things that you have to say and share. So talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday and enjoy your weekend. And whenever you're watching us or listening to this, reach out to me with anything that you think would be of interest to share with that you'd like to hear about. So with all that being said, see you soon.